Okay, seriously. Like, haven't we all been there? Your internet's down, you're on hold forever with tech support, and you were just like losing it. Then finally, the cable technician shows up. But like, who are these people? Are they like just cable wizards, or is there something more to it? Today, we're going to find out using these articles from Indeed.com.
You know, it's really interesting because what Indeed.com is showing is that being a successful cable technician, it takes more than just technical skills now.
Oh, I totally get that. I remember one time this technician came to my place, and he was like a surgeon, but with my router. So precise.
Hmm.
But then he explained it all to me
Hmm.
in a way that, like, even I could understand. My internet has never been better.
Exactly. You need that mix of technical skills and being able to communicate. That's what makes a really great cable technician.
Hmm.
And Indeed.com actually breaks down the skills that are most important.
Okay, let's get into it then. So first up, you got to have the technical skills, right? What kind of stuff do you need to know to be good at this job?
Well, you have to think about it. You're dealing with really complex network stuff and technology that's always changing, like things like DOCSIS 3.1, and people just want more and more bandwidth all the time. It's not as simple as just plugging in cables anymore. You need to understand all these systems that make the internet work.
Wow, DOCSIS 3.1. That sounds way more complicated than just plugging in an Ethernet cable.
Yeah.
So like in an interview, how would they even know if someone knows all that stuff?
They might ask you to walk them through how you would troubleshoot a node segment, like if it had low signal strength or something. Or they could even get super specific, like explain the advantages of using OFDM in DioCSIS 3.1. They want to make sure that you don't just know the words,
Yeah.
but that you actually know how to do the work.
Okay, so yeah, you need to know your technical stuff. That's clear. But Indeed.com also talks about how customer service is super important too. Why is that such a big deal for cable technicians?
Well, it's all about the people, really. Imagine you're the customer. Your internet's down, you're frustrated, you probably have tons of questions. The technician who can explain what's going on in a way that you understand and maybe even makes you laugh a little bit. That's the technician that can turn a bad situation into a good one.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to put your customer service skills to the test then. Let's pretend for a second. I'm going to be the customer who's been binge watching this show all weekend, and all of a sudden, the internet goes out right before the season finale.
All right, hit me with it. Let's see what I can do.
Okay, here goes. My internet's down. I was just about to see who the killer is, and now it's all frozen. What am I supposed to do? Just wait a week for it to fix itself?
I totally get why you're frustrated. Losing your internet, especially when you're in the middle of something, it's super
Uh-huh.
annoying. Let's see if we can get you back to your show as quickly as possible. So first, can you tell me what was happening right before the internet went out?
Oh, that's good. You totally got me calmed down, and now you're trying to solve the problem. I bet that's straight out of the Indeed.com playbook, huh?
You got it. They have some really good examples of how to handle those tough customer situations. But it's not just about making people feel better. It's also about explaining the technical stuff so that anyone can understand it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like you have to be the tech expert and the friendly helper at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about technical skills,
Mm.
and we talked about customer service. What's the third thing that makes a cable technician great?
It's problem solving. And not just the simple kind, like plug it in, unplug it. It's more like being a detective for the internet, figuring out why things aren't working.
So you're saying it's more about thinking on your feet, not just memorizing a bunch of solutions?
Exactly. Indeed.com gives this example of a technician who's doing an installation and the signal suddenly gets messed up. They could have just said, oh, there's an outage.
Hmm.
But instead, they investigated. They used their knowledge of the network to figure out that the problem was actually miles away with a broken amplifier. That's the kind of problem solving that really stands out.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like being a cable technician takes a lot. Technical knowledge, people skills, and like detective skills too.
Absolutely. And those skills aren't only good for working with cables and internet stuff. They're useful in lots of other fields too. We'll talk more about that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm already hooked. But before we get into the future of this whole thing,
Yeah.
let's talk about how to actually get one of these jobs. Because let's be real, job interviews can be a little scary.
That's where Indeed.com really comes in handy. They have some really great advice for how to do well in those interviews. We'll talk about all that after the block. All right, so let's say you've got that interview for a cable technician job. What now? Well, Indeed.com has got you covered with some serious advice on acing those tricky interview questions.
Hit me with it. Let's hear these tough questions. After learning about all those technical terms and wild scenarios, I'm kind of nervous now.
I hear ya, that's totally normal, but remember, they don't just want someone who knows all the tech stuff. They want to know you can handle the unexpected, those curveballs that life throws at you. And Indeed.com really emphasizes the importance of those soft
Okay,
skills.
soft skills. I like it. What kind of
Blah.
questions are we talking about? Give me an example.
Okay, how about this one? Tell me about a time you dealt with a really difficult customer and how you handled it. They're not asking you to show off your technical skills here. They want to see if you can be understanding, communicate clearly, and stay professional even when things get tough.
Ooh, I bet Indeed.com has some awesome sample answers for this. I'm ready to channel my inner customer service superstar.
They do, but before we peek, why don't you try answering it first? Imagine the interviewer is sitting right there looking at you. What would you say?
Okay, let me think. One situation that comes to mind is when I was setting up a new modem for this customer who worked from home. Everything was going smoothly, but then we realized their home office had, like, terrible signal interference. They were freaking out because they had this important video call in an hour.
Ooh, that's rough. So what did you do?
Well, instead of panicking, I took a deep breath and told them, don't worry, we'll figure this out. I started testing different outlets, checking the wiring, even used a spectrum analyzer to find the source of the interference. Turned out it was this old cordless phone messing everything up. We moved the phone, tested the signal again, and boom, everything was perfect just in time for their meeting. They were so relieved, they even sent a thank you note to my supervisor praising my patience and problem-solving skills.
That's amazing. You explained the problem clearly, showed them you were taking action, and focused on that happy ending for the customer. You even slipped in a little bit about your communication skills, which is always a plus.
See, I told you.
Mhm.
Indeed.com has been a great teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got? Hit me with another one.
Okay, how about this? Describe a time you had to juggle multiple tasks and how you managed your time effectively. This question is all about showing them you're organized and can stay calm under pressure.
Time management. That's my superpower. One time, I had a bunch of installations in different parts of the city, all scheduled for the same day. And then, to make things even crazier, one of my colleagues called in sick. I knew it was going to be a wild ride.
Oh man, that's a lot to handle. So what did you do?
I immediately mapped out the best route to take, factoring in traffic and everything. Then I called each customer to confirm the arrival times and make sure they knew what to expect.
Smart move. Keeping everyone in the loop is so important. Did you manage to get everything done on time?
I did. It was definitely a crazy day, but I got every installation done on time and without any major issues. That day really taught me how important it is to prioritize, plan ahead, and communicate clearly, especially when things get hectic.
There you go. You turned a potentially stressful situation into a learning experience, and that's always impressive. You showed them you're a problem solver, you're adaptable, and you care about your customers.
I'm starting to think I could actually nail a cable technician interview.
Hmm.
What other wisdom does Indeed.com have for us?
They also talk about how important it is to show your passion for technology and that you're always eager to learn new things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Technology changes so fast, you got to be willing to keep up.
Right. They might ask something like, how do you stay updated on the latest advancements in cable technology? It's your chance to shine, show them you're genuinely interested and want to keep learning.
Okay, let's practice. I make sure to read industry magazines like Broadband Technology Report and CED Magazine. I also watch webinars and take online courses to learn about new technologies like fiber optics and how Wi-Fi is changing.
Good start. But don't forget to add a personal touch. What are you most excited about in this field?
Ooh, good point. I'm super interested in how cable technicians are playing a bigger role in smart homes and home automation. I recently got certified in home networking technologies, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this whole field.
Now that's a winning answer. You showed them you're proactive about learning, shared what specifically interests you, and even connected it to the future of the job.
I'm feeling pretty good about this interview now, thanks to all this awesome advice from Indeed.com. But what about after the interview? What's it actually like to be a cable technician day to day?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll dive into in the next part of our deep dive. Because being a cable technician is about so much more than just fixing cables. You're at the forefront of this digital revolution, connecting people to the world in ways we're just starting to understand.
All right, so we're back, diving deep into the world of cable technicians. We've talked about the skills, the challenges, even how to rock that interview. But now, let's look ahead. What does the future hold for this job?
It's a great question because the tech world, well, it never sits still, right? We've got streaming taking over, wireless everywhere, and the Internet of Things is like weaving its way into everything. So where does that leave the cable technician?
Yeah, it seems like everything's going wireless, virtual. Are cable technicians going to go extinct, like the typewriter repairman?
Not so fast. Some parts of the job, sure, they'll change, but the core skills, those are adaptable, and there's a huge demand for them in all sorts of new tech areas.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What are these super skills that make cable technicians so future-proof?
Think about what they do. They solve these super complex network problems, often in crazy situations. They translate tech jargon into plain English. And they work independently, figuring things out on the fly. That's valuable in any tech field.
So even if they're not dealing with cables in the future, these skills could be used for new technologies, like what?
Exactly. Take the Internet of Things, for example, all those smart devices. You've got smart fridges, security systems, sensors in like factories. We'll need tons of technicians who can install and fix those networks.
Wow, so today's cable technician could be tomorrow's IoT expert. That's pretty cool, helping us navigate this world of gadgets.
For sure. And it's not just about homes. Think 5G rollout, bringing super fast internet to rural areas. Cable technicians are already leading that charge, installing fiber optic networks.
This is wild. It's like their skills are evolving right along with the technology. Instead of being replaced, they're actually the ones making it happen.
Exactly. And we can't forget the human touch. As tech gets more complicated, more integrated into our lives, we'll always need someone who can explain it simply and fix it when it breaks.
That's so true. No matter how fancy the tech gets,
Yeah,
we need someone who speaks our language, right? Someone to help us out.
you got it. The cable technician, with their tech skills, their problem solving, and their way with people, they're set up to succeed in this ever-changing digital world.
This has been amazing. We started with how to get a cable technician job. Ended up talking about the future of the whole profession. It's a lot bigger than just fixing cables. It's about how we connect with the world.
It really shows you how adaptable and important this job is.
And to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. Have you ever had a memorable experience, good or bad, with a cable technician? What do you think the future holds for this field? Share your thoughts. Because as we learned today, the world of cable technicians is dynamic and fascinating. They're shaping how we connect, communicate, and live in this digital age. That's all for our deep dive.